In this video, you will understand that getting out of a difficult financial situation does not begin only when you earn more money. It begins when you change the way you act. Because many people want different results, but keep repeating the same habits every month. They receive money the same way, spend the same way, make decisions the same way, avoid learning new things, and then wonder why their financial life stays the same. The truth is simple. If you keep doing the same things, you will probably keep reaping the same results. Step 1. Change the way you act. The first step to getting out of a difficult financial situation is to change your daily attitudes. Many people think their financial life only changes when a bigger salary appears, a better job, a great opportunity, or someone offering help. But often, the first change needs to happen before that. It begins in the way you wake up, think, decide, spend, learn, and use the time you have. Because money doesn't respond only to desire. Money responds to behavior. If a person earns little, but also doesn't study, doesn't plan, doesn't improve skills, doesn't control what comes in and out, doesn't create new opportunities, and doesn't change their routine, they end up trapped in the same cycle. They work, get paid, pay bills, complain, worry, and wait for the next paycheck. Then everything repeats. But when this person decides to act differently, even before earning more, a new direction begins. They start observing their habits more closely. They begin to ask, what am I doing every day that is keeping me in the same place? This question is uncomfortable, but necessary. Maybe the problem is leaving everything for later. Maybe it's spending without thinking. Maybe it's wasting time on distractions. Maybe it's not learning any new skill. Maybe it's waiting for someone else to solve what they themselves need to start facing. Changing the way you act means stopping living just by reacting to problems. Instead of waiting for the bill to be overdue, you start planning ahead. Instead of complaining about your salary every month, you start learning something that can increase your value. Instead of spending all the money that comes in, you start setting aside a part for protection. Instead of saying you have no opportunity, you start looking for the small doors that are already within your reach. At first, this change seems small. Waking up earlier to study for 30 minutes seems like little. Writing down expenses seems too simple. Turning down an unnecessary purchase seems like a small decision. Looking for a new skill seems distant. But it's these small, repeated attitudes that begin to change the direction of life. A person doesn't improve financially just because they want it badly. They improve when their habits start to match the future they want to build. If you want more income, you need to develop more value. If you want more stability, you need to create a foundation. If you want more freedom, you need to stop using all your money just to survive the month. If you want better opportunities, you need to prepare yourself to recognize and seize them. That's the difference between someone who just waits and someone who starts building. Whoever waits spends years saying, one day my life will change. Whoever builds says, what can I do today to change my direction? And that question changes everything. Because maybe today you still don't have much money. Maybe you don't have investments yet. Maybe you don't have a business yet. Maybe you're still starting from zero. But you can start by changing your routine, your discipline, your mindset, and your way of acting. You can study a useful skill, you can organize your finances, you can reduce impulsive decisions, you can look for an extra income opportunity, you can learn about assets, you can take better care of your health to have more energy. You can stop wasting time on things that build nothing. None of this seems grand on the first day, but after months, the difference shows. Because better financial results are usually the fruit of better attitudes. The first step is this: change the way you act. Stop repeating the same habits while expecting a different life. Stop living as if the future will organize itself. Stop treating your financial life as something you only face when the problem shows up. Start acting like someone who is building a new phase. Because financial change begins when you decide that you will no longer be the same person with the same habits, making the same decisions and expecting different results. If you want to get out of where you are, you need to start acting like someone who is heading somewhere else. Before moving to the next step, I want to make you an important invitation. If you want to truly change your financial life, start by investing in your knowledge. Become a member of the channel. When you become a member, you're not just supporting this content, you're investing in your own mind, in your growth, and in your ability to make better decisions with money. Because the more you learn about finance, income, skills, investments, and wealth building, the more prepared you become to see opportunities that other people don't see. Most people keep repeating the same habits because they don't seek knowledge. But those who study, learn, and surround themselves with better ideas start thinking differently, acting differently, and building different results. So, click Become a Member and start investing in your knowledge. Because a person who invests in their own mind increases their chances of prospering and becomes different from the majority who just work, spend, and wait for life to change on its own. Step 2. Increase your skills. After changing the way you act, the next step is to increase your skills. Because one truth needs to be understood. If you want to earn more, you need to learn to deliver more value. Many people want a better financial life, but keep the same skills from years ago. They keep doing only the basics, without studying anything new, without improving their communication, without learning sales, without understanding technology, without developing a more valued profession, and without looking for ways to become more useful in the market. And when a person doesn't increase their own value, it becomes harder to increase their own income. Money generally follows the value you're able to deliver. If you know how to solve important problems, people may pay more for your work. If you learn a skill that few master, you can find better opportunities. If you improve your ability to sell, negotiate, serve, lead, create, teach, or produce, you start opening doors that used to seem closed. That's why getting out of a difficult financial situation doesn't depend only on saving or waiting for a raise. It also depends on growing as a person, as a professional, and as someone capable of generating more results. Maybe you'll learn sales, maybe you'll learn digital marketing, maybe you'll learn video editing, design, programming, English, management, customer service, spreadsheets, negotiation, leadership, or any practical skill the market values. What matters is choosing a direction and starting. Don't try to learn everything at once. Whoever tries to take on 10 things at once usually doesn't go deep into any of them. Choose a skill that fits your reality, your time, and an opportunity that can generate income in the future. Then practice every day. 30 minutes a day can already change your direction in a few months. 1 hour a day can speed things up even more. The secret is consistency. At first, it may seem hard. You may feel slow, lost, insecure, or behind. But every skill starts this way. Nobody is born knowing how to sell, negotiate, edit, run a business, or invest. People learn, practice, make mistakes, adjust, and improve, and every improvement increases your possibilities. A new skill can help you get a better job. It can open up extra income. It can allow you to offer services. It can help you start a small business. It can make you see opportunities that used to go unnoticed. That's why the second step is this: increase your skills. Don't depend only on your current salary. Don't accept that your income stays stuck forever. Invest in knowledge, practice with discipline, and become a more valuable person. Because those who don't develop new skills stay stuck with the same opportunities. But those who learn, apply, and improve start creating paths that can completely change their financial life. Step 3. Strengthen your financial foundation before taking bigger steps. After increasing your skills, the next step is to strengthen your financial foundation. Because it's no use learning more, earning a little more, and finding new opportunities if any unexpected event can knock everything down again. Many people try to grow financially with no protection at all. They start a project, think about investing, try to change their life, but remain without reserves, without planning, and without minimal security. Then when an emergency appears, all the progress goes backward. An unexpected bill shows up, a health problem appears, the car breaks down, work slows down, an urgent expense comes. And since there's no foundation, the person runs to the credit card, takes out a loan, falls behind on bills, or sells something important out of desperation. That's why, before pursuing bigger investments or taking on bigger risks, you need to build a foundation. This foundation starts with personal financial planning. You need to know how much you earn, how much you spend, how much you owe, and how much you need to live with minimal security. Without this, your financial life is always improvised. Then comes the emergency fund. This money is not for luxury. It's not for impulse purchases. It's not to show results to anyone. It exists to protect you when life goes off plan. The emergency reserve is like a financial umbrella. When the weather is good, it may seem unnecessary, but when the storm comes, you understand the value of having protection. The ideal is to start small. First, save an initial amount, then increase it little by little until you build a reserve that covers a few months of your essential expenses. Beyond that, it's important to think about protection. Depending on your situation, basic insurance can prevent a big problem from destroying years of effort. The goal isn't to spend unnecessarily, but to protect what you're starting to build. The third step is this: strengthen your foundation before rushing ahead, because a person without a foundation lives vulnerable. Any problem turns into a crisis. Any emergency turns into debt. Any setback takes away your peace. But when you have planning, reserves, and protection, you start making decisions more calmly. You don't act out of fear. You don't accept just any offer out of desperation. You don't destroy your future because of an emergency. The financial foundation doesn't make you rich immediately, but it stops you from going back to zero every time life gets hard. And whoever wants to prosper first needs to stop falling. After that, it becomes much easier to rise. Step 4. Look for investment opportunities and acquire assets. After changing your way of acting, increasing your skills, and strengthening your financial foundation, the moment comes to take a more strategic step. Start looking for investment opportunities and acquiring assets, because money shouldn't serve only to pay bills and keep the month running. If all the money that comes in is used only for consumption, the person stays trapped in the same cycle. They work, get paid, spend, and wait for the next paycheck. But when part of the income starts being directed to assets, something different happens. Money stops being just a reward for effort and starts becoming a tool for building. An asset is something that can put money in your pocket or increase your net worth over time. It can be a financial investment. It can be a small business. It can be a property that generates rent. It can be a skill turned into a service. It can be a digital product. It can be a machine, tool, or structure that produces income. The main point is this: you need to start using part of your money to build something that works in favor of your future. Many people go wrong because they use their first savings only to buy things that give quick satisfaction. They buy something new, trade in a device, take on installment payments, improve their appearance, but don't build any source of income. After a few weeks, the excitement of the purchase fades, but the money is already gone. That's why, before spending money, ask a simple question. Will this help me grow financially, or will it just consume my income? This question changes the way you decide. According to Robert Kiyosaki's principles, a person who wants to get out of the rat race needs to learn to buy assets, not just things that increase expenses. Because assets create possibilities, liabilities create obligations. But be careful. This doesn't mean investing in just anything. Investing requires knowledge, patience, and care. Don't put money into something just because someone promised quick profit. Don't buy an asset without understanding how it works. Don't enter a business just because it looks good on the outside. First, study. Understand the risks. Look at the costs. Calculate whether there's a return. Analyze whether it fits your situation. Start small, test, learn, and increase as you gain experience. The mistake many people make is wanting to skip steps. They want to go from zero to buying everything at once. They want to invest in stocks, real estate, businesses, cryptocurrencies, digital products, and every opportunity that appears. But whoever tries to do everything without understanding anything can end up losing money. Choose an initial direction. If you want to invest in the financial market, learn the basics first. If you want to start a small business, understand sales, cost, profit, and customer. If you want to buy something to generate income, calculate how much it can produce and how much it will cost to maintain. If you want to create a digital product, understand the problem it solves and who would be willing to pay for it. A real asset needs to have a function. It can't just be a purchase disguised as an investment. The fourth step is this. Start directing part of your money toward opportunities that can build wealth. It doesn't need to be a lot at the start. What matters is changing direction. Instead of using everything just for the present, start setting aside a part to create a future. Because whoever uses all their money just to survive keeps depending on the next paycheck. But whoever learns to acquire assets starts building something that can grow, generate income, and gradually reduce dependence on daily work. And that's one of the great signs of financial change. When money stops just passing through your hands and starts working alongside you. Step 5. Build a sustainable strategy and maintain discipline. After changing your way of acting, increasing your skills, strengthening your financial foundation, and starting to look for investment opportunities, the last step comes. Building a strategy you can maintain over time. Because it's no use making a good decision today and abandoning everything next week. Many people start motivated. They watch a video, promise to change, write down goals, say they're going to organize their life, but a few days later, go back to the same habits. They go back to spending without thinking, stop studying, forget the planning, abandon the project, and start saying nothing works. But the truth is, the problem isn't always the strategy. Sometimes the problem is lack of continuity. If you want different results, you need to maintain different attitudes for long enough for them to produce an effect. It's no use wanting a new life with the same old behaviors. It's no use wanting more money without learning to manage what already comes in. It's no use wanting to invest without studying. It's no use wanting to grow without making sacrifices. It's no use wanting financial freedom without discipline. That's why you need to learn to manage your money with clarity. Know how much comes in, how much goes out, how much needs to be set aside for your foundation, how much can go to investments, how much will be used for learning, and how much can be used to live with balance. Money needs to follow a plan. When it has no direction, it disappears. And within this plan, some sacrifices will be necessary. Maybe you'll need to give up some immediate pleasures. Maybe you'll need to say no to purchases that used to seem normal. Maybe you'll need to use part of your free time to study, develop a skill, or work on a project. Maybe you'll need to stop following people who don't want to grow and get closer to content, environments, and people who strengthen your vision. This isn't losing your life. It's building a better life. Because everyone who wants to prosper needs to trade some quick rewards for bigger results in the future. The mistake is thinking everything needs to happen fast. A sustainable strategy doesn't depend on excitement. It depends on routine. It depends on repeating the basics even when it feels slow. It depends on continuing to study, control, invest, learn, and adjust the path. In the first month, you may see little difference. In the second, you may start to gain more clarity. In the third, you may notice you're making fewer mistakes. In the fourth, your foundation may be stronger. In the fifth, a skill may start opening doors. In the sixth, you may not be rich yet, but you will already be a different person than the one who started. And that is the real change. Because before a financial life changes on the outside, it needs to change on the inside. The last step is this. Build a strategy you can maintain. Don't look only for quick results. Look for constant progress. Don't change direction every week. Choose a path, learn, practice, improve, and continue. Change your way of acting. Increase your skills. Strengthen your financial foundation. Look for investment opportunities. Manage your money better. Accept the necessary sacrifices and maintain a sustainable strategy. Because getting out of a difficult financial situation doesn't happen by luck. It happens when your attitudes start working in favor of your future. If this video made sense to you, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who also needs to change the way they act with money. And write in the comments, "I will build my new phase with discipline." Make that phrase a commitment. Because whoever keeps doing everything the same stays in the same place. But whoever changes their attitudes, learns new skills, and follows a plan with consistency starts opening the way to a life with more security, growth, and financial freedom.